So you're going to read this.
Hey Google, open the curtains. Hey Google.
Now you'll be a bit audible. Tom, could you just adjust a bit that microphone, that speaker, a bit? The speaker, just adjust it a bit. The other side. We are coming, don't worry. Mr. Google's here shouting. Adjust the speaker a bit. Yeah. Speaker, just adjust it a bit. Just go back. Okay. So you're going to read this. Go behind and put it in the middle. Increase that thing in the middle part. Mr. Google's here shouting. The volume part put in the middle. Yes. Me, I'm a bit louder. I know that you are softer, so you have to increase quite a bit your voice. Okay. So you're going to read. We are doing what we call. Let me first try it out myself. If the problem is the voice. The volume part put in the middle. Hey Google. Yes. Open the curtains. Me, I'm a bit louder. I know that you are softer, so you have to increase quite a bit your voice. Okay. We are doing, and you can see the curtains are opening. You pause where there's that comma, yes? So since the curtains have opened, we are now going to close them, okay? Good.
Hey Google, close curtains. Hey Google, close curtains.
Okay, you're a bit down. Hey Google. Okay, you can see the curtains are surely closing, yeah? The curtains are closing. Those online, I know we are online. We have what we call the smart home concept here at UIS. It is an innovation that we made in our office, and okay. I'm giving them, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, those that are at home, we are live here at UCU, and we are doing it here, the UIS week. Like we are here watching live, as you are watching at home on your TV, on your phone, on your laptop. We are showcasing what we call the smart home concept, the smart home concept. And we are trying it here with some ladies. And could I have, maybe we can come here, you can just stand here because we are live. I've just been informed that the cameras are picking our behind side. So let's stand this side. That is fine. Yes, just come this side. Yes. That is okay. I hope we're okay, Mr. Joel. Please guide. Are we okay? We are fine. Okay. And after this, we are going straight to the Nexus, the ImagoDei Nexus service. What is ImagoDei Nexus service? It empowers us to possibly use AI in research, in innovations, and possibly also sort of community problems. Now let's go back here. Our curtains are closed. Yes, they're closed. Let's go back to the fan. This is the fan. Let's use the fan. The fan, we are going to put on the fan. Yes, we are putting on the fan, and
Hey Google, turn on the fan.
ladies and gentlemen, you see the fan is on. That is what we call the smart home concept. This has been done here. It has been innovated by the UIS. Please come get okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Earlier on, I've been telling us that this has been utilized by UIS. Yes, that is so beautiful. Now the fan is on. We are going now to turn off the fan.
Hey Google, turn off the fan. It did not light. Hey Google, turn off the fan. Hey, hey Google, turn off the fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the smart home concept, and this is what I told you that this was utilized by UIS. Yes, this technology was utilized by UIS. I told you earlier on that in a few minutes from now, and I think it is the time we are going to have here a service live that is a round table talk, which is the ImagoDei Nexus talk. What is ImagoDei? We are yet to know. We are going to know, but earlier on I told that it empowers us, it empowers us to have good research, to have good innovation here at UCU and anywhere. It helps us also to solve community problems using AI. This is what we are yet to know anytime from now, and maybe practically let my ladies finish up this, and then I bring in our speakers of tonight and those that will be taking us through this very afternoon, and then later on we move on. So let's switch off the TV. Yeah, we are switching off the TV, and
Hey Google, switch off the TV.
that's it. That's what we have been talking about. Those who are online, this technology was utilized by UIS here at Uganda Christian University. This is what we have been telling you about. Technology at UCU is on top. We are in a digital era. We are in a modern era. And that's why you need to learn all this. How is the experience? How do you feel?
The experience is good, just that it delayed a bit, but it's okay.
It delayed a bit, but it's okay. It's good. Okay, that's so fine. What's your experience about the smart home concept?
The experience is so good.
It is so good. Okay, let's link up again. Let's link up next time. Allow me to take you. Let's. One of you should come and put back. Should put it on. The other one, you come and put it on. Come and put it on the TV. Wow. Just turn on. You turn on the TV.
Hey Google, turn on the TV.
Wow, the TV is on. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now take you back to the round table. All our speakers are set here so smart. Men here and suits and neckties. The gentleman here, oh my God, one beautiful speaker. She is here with good smiles. We are yet to know what is coming from her. She is speaking about the Nexus, the ImagoDei Nexus here right now. And of course, we are under the theme that tech in action and empowering you in a digital campus. talk. You could be a winner. I'm telling you, you could be a winner. Tell a friend, please to come. We have enough seats here. Enough. I'm telling you, we have enough. Just come and be part of it. ImagoDei Nexus should not be a strange word to you, but it's also one of our service. That is just a name, you know. That is just a word. It's just a name given to you. I'm telling you. So we should come and join. But one of the most things, it's an initiative that empowers you to do good research, some good innovations, and more. Please come learn more. Come learn more here. We are here. The researchers are here. The innovators are here, and our team are here. The technicians are all here. So please continue coming because it's going to be fun here. It's going to be gaining knowledge from here. So it's not good to just sit there without getting a service from us. Otherwise, like I told you, that we are live. We're live on all our social media pages. Uganda Christian University. We live here. As you see, our panel is set. Our panel is set. And wow, okay. Our panel is set, ladies and gentlemen, and just in a few, I'll maybe talk about a few people here that have come who are panelists. Like I've said, this is UCU, this is Uganda Christian University. And remember, we shall forever be the center of excellence in the heart of Africa. And then UIS Week is here for us. UIS, my lady, what is UIS in full?
University ICT Services.
I love the bold answering. I hope you are not expectant. So beautiful. This is so nice. But of course, if you have a laptop and here, those online, we are also having our laptop clinic. If you are there and maybe your laptop has issues, it could be late for you, but then tomorrow we are also here. And if you have a laptop and the so data, you're keeping it in your hostel, in your hall there, please feel free to pass by here, pass by the tent here at the library. I'm talking to those who are online and possibly have not managed to access us, to come closer to us. Please, tomorrow come walk to campus before 2 p.m. because we shall be having our games at 3 p.m. in the new pitch. Please, let's come and bring here our problems. If you have Moodle issues, please, and you are there, you are sleeping at home, please come here and get our services. If you have issues with your alpha, you can't access your marks, you have missing marks, please, and you are online, we are here at UCU, we are at campus here, and we are here in a tent here at Kamwikara Library. Remember, still as we are soon putting our panelists back here or to speak to us, our theme this week is taking action and empowering you in this digital campus. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a phone and the phone, maybe its storage is not okay. It is so dirty. You need to clean it. The problems are being solved here. I had a co-MC. I don't know where she left, but I believe she is safe. She's doing something different, but I know that anytime she'll be joining in, and we shall be coming in. Those who are here and present and on campus, our coffee hub is here. We are having some coffee as we talk, as we take some coffee. Please feel free to pass by and opposite here and have some coffee and then feel relaxed, feel at home. This is UCU, and we are live. We are live. Please continue sharing the page, continue sharing the link to your friends so that they can catch us live here. Before we start up our round table talk, please share, continue sharing, continue sending the link to your comrades in their different WhatsApp groups so that they can tap in the link and access us live here. Remember, we are live at Kamwikara Library, but this is the UIS week. And this is Uganda Christian University, Uganda Christian University ICT week. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now back take you to the round table because our panels are set. I can see them, everyone pulling the suits, pulling the neckties, ready to speak to us. Please, back to you that side.
Hello, good afternoon. Hope I'm loud and clear. Those who are online, those following us on our socials, welcome to our round table, the ImagoDei Nexus round table. Here as your host, I'm Kisomoso Tonny, lecturer, Department of Computing, and I have a couple of panelists who will introduce themselves, starting from my left.
Thank you, Mr. Kisomoso, my lecturer. My name is Kwong Roxam. I'm a BSIT student. I'm happy and I'm happy to be here today, part of this podcast.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tonny. When I was coming here, they were saying lawyer Uyo, but I'm a law student. My name is Rohinja Peter, President, Rotary Club of Uganda Christian University. At the same time, a law student, and I'm here to fill in the gap for my president from the Law Society. Thank you so much.
We are delighted to have you, Peter, and thank you for your presentation.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Tonny, moderator. My name is Tom Akankwasa, socially known as Atomix. I'm a graduate, the class of 2026. So I'm fresh, as you can see, and I'm glad to be on this podcast to talk about the Imago Day that we have and whatever questions that we're going to be having. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. My name is Kamwikara Kiara. I'm the Minister of ICT, Research and Innovation, 28th Guild Government. I also do a Bachelor of Science in Electronics and Communication Engineering, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm delighted to have big people, big brains on this panelist. Lastly,
I'm Mark Kugonza from UIS and also part of the ImagoDei Nexus team. So glad to have you around to discuss the future of ImagoDei.
I welcome all of you on this podcast. We are using the word ImagoDei Nexus, and many have questions. What is that? What is that? Is it a new AI? It is not a new AI. It is a service being offered to you by the University Library Kamwikara to students and any person beyond innovation. So the ImagoDei Nexus simply means making in God's image. We are built to create. So Uganda Christian University is a Christian university, and we want to see in our day-to-day activities, how do we involve God around everything we do? Because he started the innovation. We say that we are the innovators. He started the innovation by creating the world, and he had a plan for each and every day. So, understanding the ImagoDei, we explore Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, and the essence of human creativity. So Genesis 1:27 illustrates that all humans are created in God's image, inspiring a sense of purpose and creativity. So this divine reflection fuels students to innovate across various fields, embodying their potentials. That's why you find we have different panelists on our podcast. We have Mr. Kong doing Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology. We have our lawyer, Peter. We have our graduate from Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. And we also have a minister of ICT in electronics. That is a good start for us. So why ImagoDei? Why does it matter today? How are humans versing the AI intelligence? When you hear that, what comes to your mind?
Human versus the artificial intelligence. What I think about that, first of all, what comes to my mind is this is not supposed to be a competition. If you have us, the human beings, and what we have given birth to as artificial intelligence, I don't think we should look at who is better. It shouldn't be a competition either, because it's an obvious win at the point whereby human being, you get to feel like you're in competition with AI, like you're versing it, you've already lost. But if you can understand this is your tool, it's just a tool. Like, let me take you back a little bit at the start of the revolution, the industrial revolution. This all started with simple tools such as bow and arrow, and back to the early men when they're using these tools, going fast forward to hose, till now AI. These are all tools we created as human beings to help us in our daily lives. So there is no, I don't remember studying that early man reached a time and said, comparing him and the arrow, who is better. He always knew the arrow was just a tool to use. So when you tell me human versus AI, what comes to my mind first is that should not be a competition at all. It's just a tool that we are supposed to use.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kong. Let's have a different perspective from the law side. How can we, is it a comparison between human, or it is not worth comparing AI to humans or humans to AI?
Thank you so much, Mr. Tonny. Human versus AI. Human versus change. When I say change, in reference to AI, it has been termed as the new normal. People are using AI in their day-to-day life. When I heard of ImagoDei Nexus, of course, I'm one that has a very strong background of divinity. So I thought of God now, and I hadn't read the word Nexus thereafter. So I kept on thinking ImagoDei, and I know that ImagoDei means divinity. But then now I'm seeing the human aspect of it. So when I say human versus change, I'm bringing up the aspect that we should not fight change. And that's what ImagoDei is doing from my understanding. When you say ImagoDei is an innovation and you compare it to AI or a tool that is there to aid the proper use of AI, I strongly concur with you to that extent. However, much as ImagoDei is also here, we have to adopt it and not make it seem bad like they have made AI seem to some of us. In our legal aspect, at times we do not even have the confidence to to download an AI application. It has gone that far because in court, when you tend to cite a wrong case or repealed law that has been given to you by AI, you cannot have the authority by saying that I got this from AI. And I believe ImagoDei is doing away with such. So to me, human versus AI should now change to ImagoDei Nexus versus AI. And I believe it shall be able to aid the proper use of AI. I so submit.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. That is a very nice discussion. It shouldn't be human versing the AI intelligence. It should be ImagoDei versing AI intelligence.
True.
Now, that is interesting because AI has come and ImagoDei is here to not take away AI, but it is to equip you so that you are able to efficiently and effectively use the AI. Mr. Kong talked about the early man with his spear, and there's no way he could compare himself with the spear. Rather, he was working with the spear. That should be the same aspect here. That's why we have come up with ImagoDei to help you be the early man to realize that the spear has nothing. Rather, it is going to help you and simplify your life. Let's hear from our Mogole. He graduated just last Friday. Let's see what he has so far seen outside the university.
I appreciate Sir Mr. Tony. On basing on the question they've talked about humans versus AI. Okay, actually, AI has evolved a lot. AI came in previously by the time some of us were still in secondary. Even before that, it came to the rise. In Africa, it's like it just came recently. People get to know about it. But in outside countries like other continents, they already had it and they're already training it, and they had to put it out for the whole world to use it. Though the only thing that I get to realize every time we talk about AI and humans, there's a talk that's always going on around the country. We have to accept AI. AI is helping us. AI is part of us. Like my former speaker said, the consul, the lawyer said, like, change, right? You get to understand, like, every time we humans have change, change always comes in both negative and positive. There's a time I spoke to one person who actually graduated, also got a master's, told me something very beautiful that I'm even going to quote. We humans literally get to have tools, but then we are intimidated by those tools. By the way, how we use those tools actually brings out the negativity of them. Now, we have AI being involved everywhere. Everything actually is being automated with AI. If you don't know AI, you don't know about it, and you're scared that it's going to take your job, or you know you're going to use it to do that, that's well and good. But then the aspect of the Imago Dei, whereby you get to believe like AI is better than you, it's really like a scam. Because the fact is, that's just a technology. It's not physical. But the mere fact that in the previous news we had where they built, what was that, Anthropox? Is it Anthropox? The AI that was released and then was taken back. It was being tested in a certain lab, but it managed to move out from its container and went on the net, went on all systems, gave all vulnerabilities. Now imagine that type of AI being given out to the public. And the way we are humans, we are the apex predators. Anything we want, we can do it. So by the time someone already has an AI that can even deploy to take off the internet of a certain area, get to see, like, now if I literally have it, I can be like, I want to attack MTN. And literally, if I want to see the vulnerability for MTN, I'm going to be like, if they have a weak point, I'm able to use this AI to take them down. But then now, to the point of aspect like the divinity, you get to realize, like, we have ethics of AI. So the AI we have plus humans aligns with how we use it. It shouldn't be a threat, though sometimes it might seem to be so, but the way how we use it, because it hurts when you get to realize someone uses more AI in everything they do than they were supposed to use their head. Someone able to create a speech, they have to say, I draft me a speech. They cannot just come and give a speech here. They have to be like, I need a few minutes to prepare. But in those minutes, they just want a speech drafted by AI, get it, and then come and present, where they look professional, but in the real aspect, they're not getting it out of themselves. So you're not cheating yourself, you're not cheating AI or cheating to the public, but you're cheating to yourself. So that makes AI bigger, whereby you feel like you're being competed. But then, if it's you who knows, like, yo, if I tell AI to do this, and I need it to do it, and tells me something that doesn't make sense, I'm going to be like, nah, this is wrong. It's wrong. That's why even when you're at university, by the time I was at UCU and we are having work, because we're using AI, I remember the time when you're teaching me and then you're telling us that if you guys are using AI and you literally trust everything from AI, then it's you who's dumb. And it's literally true. Because if you literally can't defend or get to understand what you wrote, when you're being given a presentation to go in front and you don't know what you're talking about, and they ask you something, but you just got it from AI, you're already off topic. So that means like it's AI presenting, it's not you. So the competition is already there, whether we like it or not. It's automatic. Anything that comes in, it's a change, but humans with change, it never evolves very quickly. It's always on a diverse linear line. Yeah, I beg to list, please.
Thank you, Mr. Atomix. You are right. When you give this AI the authority that do this, do this, do the other, there you are giving it the power to also take over your creativity and the critical mind. Let's hear from our minister and we see which perspective does she have about that.
Thank you so much. You said human versus AI. I don't look at it in that way. I actually look at it as human plus AI. Yes. Yes, AI is very fast at processing data, sorting through information, and also performing different tasks. Yes, but AI does not have a heart. Does not have that wisdom. Does not have that human empathy. So at the end of the day, AI is just a powerful tool that needs human guidance. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister. Indeed, it should be human plus AI, just like how it was Aleman plus his spear. So, from that perspective, I agree with our minister that we should work with AI, and you can see it aligns with our Mr. Kong, what Mr. Kong said, the Aleman and his spear. With us in the house, we have an expert in robotics and AI related topics, and he brought up the issue that conversation you have had. Hello Alexa, hello Google, hello this, do this, do this. Let's hear his perspective, and with him working with AI alongside improving his day-to-day activities right up to home. Let's see his view about that.
Thank you. I'll concur with what Honorable said about AI not having emotions. And true, as humans, we experience the world through through senses and emotions, but AI processes patterns from data without subjective experience. I'm going to talk about this as a developer, as a software developer in UIS. There is something called UI and UX. Yeah. So when you're developing and use AI, true, you can use it to develop nice UIs, nice working code, and it does the thing perfectly in less time than a normal human being would have done. But AI does not have human emotions. So it cannot replace the part of UX, user experience. For example, when we are developing something, let me give this example. Staff can apply for academic promotions, yeah? And AI can give you the form and everything that you need in that form, but does not give you the perfect user experience. For example, it could give you the form where you add your name, your work experience, your position, so forth and so on, and then gives you the option of checking whether you're eligible for that academic promotion you're applying for. But as a human being, why would I fill in a form of 10 fields, 1, 2, 3 fields, only to come down and click the button, check eligibility, and I'm not eligible after I've wasted all my time filling in 10 fields? The thing is working, the thing is perfect, but it does not have the human sense that, you know what, you should have first checked for eligibility before you even come to fill in the form. So as humans, our emotions, I think we can use AI to fast track our process in everything that we do. Maybe he said you cannot in law cite an AI reference for something, but at least it can tell you the statute. I don't know if you call it statute or whatever. It can tell you where to look in your cab book. I don't know what you call it, but that cab book, it can at least quickly identify for you the paragraph, and then you go there. And then as a human, you see how to present it in court. So as software developers also, we have that challenge. We can quickly get things done, but we need to put in our human emotions to make sure that when you present it to a human, because it's human beings that use our systems, not AI. Yeah, I think AI will know where to go. Okay, it has no problem filling in that form in 10 seconds. But as a human being filling in that form, I don't want to spend 1 hour only to realize I'm not eligible for what I'm filling in. So, yeah, we work hand in hand. We are not versing each other. We are just working hand in hand. Then when it comes to smart house automation, there are two things. You can automate the house to, like we've seen at the beginning of this podcast, you can open the curtains, turn off the TV, and so forth and so on. But you don't want to repeat yourself over and over doing the same thing. I don't want to come back home and each time I'm coming back home, I'm like, Alexa, turn on the TV. I mean, okay, let me first. What do you want to turn on? It's let me first mute these guys because each time I mention them, they will respond. Okay, now they're not listening. They're not tapping our conversation. We are safe. Okay, so I don't want to come back home and each time I'm saying, Alexa, turn off the TV, Alexa, open the curtains. Like when you integrate AI in these things, you come up with what we call automation. It has realized yesterday you came back at 9, today you've come back at 9:30. So it should be able to track your time for coming back and turn on these things for you, the lights, and I don't have to come and use my energy talking. Trust me, it sounds easy talking to these devices, but it's tiresome using your, and sometimes you're even in the bedroom, you don't want to be shouting, Alexa, turn on. You don't want that hassle. So automation comes in and being helped with AI, it just makes our lives easier. Not making us lazy, but I mean, we should use these tools when they're available.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mark. He talked about something called automation, regardless of us using the AI and the available agents. So there's something I picked from his discussion, that it is hectic all the time, the calling. It is, we are humans and we get tired. And where there is fatigue, humans don't want to associate themselves to that. I guess that question has initiated and warmed you up for what is coming next. So we can proceed with our ImagoDei Nexus, exploring the Innovation Hub layout. So basically, ImagoDei is not an AI, just like how I said, and just like how the other panelists have said, it should be ImagoDei together with the AI intelligence. So ImagoDei is designed to foster faith-based creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration, featuring 6 innovative zones that empower students to develop essential skills and engage with cutting-edge technologies. You find that we have tried to have different people on the panel to clearly bring out this image, just like from the start. Image of God and innovation together. So in this space, or in this hub, the innovation zones, we shall have the AI Literacy Studio, where we got that first question from. And what we can have in there beyond that topic or that question is, how ethical can we use the AI together with our studies? We are students and we are lecturers, So how can we use AI in this era where everyone talks about competence-based curriculum, the new curriculum, competence-based curriculum, and how can we use AI not to be off? They have given us an assignment. The lecturer has set an assignment using AI. You're also answering the assignment using AI. Where is creativity? So with this space or this hub, you learn that yes, the question has come in from AI, but how ethical do I need to use the AI in order for me to benefit, understand, and even think more critical and more innovative beyond just answering an assignment. So we shall have what we call the ideation pod, where mostly students at UCU, you have seen the Department of Computing having lab coats with the program called Recess. In Recess, they always have 2 weeks of ideation. What do we mean by ideation? How can you identify a problem worth solving? So you'll have people to guide you and see, yes, you have seen this particular problem, but is it worth solving? And if it is worth solving, where do we need to look? Yes, we have done the research. How do we get it funded? The university supports such innovations, but do you know the process? Do you even know what is required? So within that ideation pod, we shall have all those talks. Then we shall also have the think tanks. Besides you going to the library looking for that textbook and answering that assignment, have you thought about it? Do you have the time to think around that assignment? Mostly, I use this statement oftenly that, yes, this is an assignment, but I'm giving it to you not merely for marks, but for you to think beyond it. If it is a challenge that gets seen, what do you need to do? You get. So the innovation zones will have the digital fabrications, then we have the Mac space, then the creative media studios, and then the community engagement, collaboration spaces, community innovation hubs, then workshops and events projects showcase. Just like how you go in a museum and you want more. You see, this was innovated and it is a technology seated there. So from those two aspects, the innovation zones, the community engagements, according to you, where do you think we need to put a lot of focus? Is it the AI literacy? Is it the ideation pod? Is it the think tank? Is it the digital publications when we get to engineering? Is it the Mac space? Is it the creative media studio? Is it the collaboration space? Is it the community innovation hub? Is it the workshops and events? Is it all the students' projects? Showcase. Where do you think you as students need support mostly? And we start from there.
The bucket from where to choose from is very long. It's very big. I'm going to try to go general on where we need help, where to start from for us students when it comes to whether to put most focus on the ideation, innovation, AI literacy, and the whole list. I feel like to help us in innovation, where we should put first the emphasis, a lot of energy, is first going back to the roots and understanding who we are and where we are. Before we even get to how to use AI, how to how the ideation process, let us first understand, as a student of UCU, which is located in Mukono, which is in Uganda, which is in Africa. If we can first understand those roots down where we're from, let me first maybe run to the innovation. Maybe you might understand where I'm trying to go back to all that said. I'm going to give an example. I'm in recess, and in the ideation, 2 weeks we are working on applications. We went and presented these applications to our judges, and we got insights and advice. But when we're coming back from there, I was seated in the bus that I was in, and I looked at the whole journey. I looked in the window through the bus, still here in Mukono, the path we used. And honestly, at that point, I looked at the Uganda and the people who were creating the apps for, and the slums that were going, that they were like passing via, and literally there's no one who was able, or the apps we are doing, there is less or no one, those apps we are creating, those apps are going to act as their solutions to their problems. That's why I'm saying, when it comes to innovation, we have to understand the ground we stand at. Who are the people we are innovating for? What is really practical? What is really what can really implement as Africans, as Ugandans? What is our economic ability? How are our politics? Before we come into schools to think about AI literacy, before we come to go into the ideation week and create applications for 90%, 45 million Ugandans that are in slums, that don't even own gadgets, that don't even have access to electricity, and we're now creating for them apps. Ending this, maybe to make a little bit a breather on it, at some point we could understand maybe class, for example, talking about the smart home, we could clearly state that this solution of smart homes is going to work for certain people, let me say in Kololo, people in Chera, people in a very small percentage of the Uganda we have. Because someone doesn't even have the money to pay for the rent, and us in schools and universities, we are now focusing on creating smart homes. People don't even have the homes to implement this smart technology in. So before we get to innovation technology, my first ground, we should first put in schools, in universities, let us first understand the student who is in UCU, which is in Mukono, which is in Uganda, which is an African country. Then we can come back to the innovation and AI and everything.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kong. So upon those words and the next or our running session, let's have a break and think about so far what we have talked about for just 5 minutes, and we get back to you. Okay. Welcome back from that short break where minds were moving. The earlier question was, ImagoDei Nexus has fields it wants to focus on, but it wants to get your say where will you need the university or the library to support you mostly. And it listed a few where we have the AI literacy studio, the ideation pod, the think tanks, digital fabrications, Mac space, then creative media studios, then collaboration space, community innovation hub, workspaces and events, then student projects showcase. Where do you think we can put our main focus as the university to, in order to enhance or even enable you achieve a lot from your course, not merely a transcript, but beyond a transcript?
Thank you so much. Speaking about ImagoDei Nexus and how it can be of help to students is a thing I want first to appreciate that ImagoDei has now come up, because like I digested earlier, we have been having issues where people like me don't trust AI sources. We can no longer use AI sources. But when we see things like ImagoDei, we now tend to have the belief that at least AI can be trusted if properly utilized. And of course, I'd like to intrigue the think box or the think studio, like you call it, that it's where we should put emphasis a lot. I'm a person that uses thoughts a lot, so that's why I'm focusing on that. Seeing that we have things like, seeing that AI has an aspect of having bias at times in a continuous use, that when you keep on asking questions about, let's say you're a politician and you're always asking about the policies in the country, this and this, reach a point whereby whatever submission AI is giving you, there will always be a political element. So when I speak that, when I say that we want to see ImagoDei trying to intrigue that aspect of change, I love the word change when it comes to take that aspect of change, because when you speak innovation, I believe you're trying to bring about change.
True.
So whenever you're creating or whenever you're thinking about how to see the best use of ImagoDei Nexus, let's intrigue that aspect of change, innovation away from the bias. Because even us as lawyers, we are taught not to even, we are not supposed to deal with bias. It's a principle, nemo judex. Bias is not something we should have in whatever we do. And AI has had a tendency of having bias in responses. Then secondly, AI is limited when it comes to thinking. I believe the fact that it has been maybe designed by the software engineers and robotics specialists, at times maybe one would feed it with their own understanding, or maybe the code would be aligning with a particular limited type of information. So its common sense is nowhere. Much as they call it artificial intelligence, we have intelligence quotient that supersedes the artificial intelligence. So let us maybe in your development or in a further study of the NEMO of the ImagoDei, let us see that we are doing with things that limit the thinking. In other words, the common sense that AI does not possess in my submission. Then as I conclude, because now we want to see AI work hand in hand with ImagoDei Nexus. So we have to also see that things like emotions are dealt with. For instance, my brother here, the software specialist, at times when you're using the smart home solutions, you're going to see that you're going to call Alexis or you're going to call Google, and they'll refuse to respond to certain questions because of the emotional bit of it. Or at times you may ask something emotional and they may limit their response. And that's a thing that we have to consider, because we are humans, people have emotions. So in development of anything, I believe it's very prudent that emotions are considered in terms of response and collaborations in various ways. So when you're looking at things like ImagoDei that intend to bring about unity to us as students from maybe various faculties, let's say of law, faculty of engineering, faculty of education, faculty of social work, we want to see that this is something that is accepting emotions of different people. So as I sum up my submission, let's have ImagoDei do away with bias in terms of articulating different matters. Let's have ImagoDei have common sense in terms of relating even to the common trends. Let it be flexible, in other words. And finally, let us consider emotion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Peter. From his submission, I see supports around 3, starting with the think tanks, and then the collaboration space, which will go out or will reduce the element of bias. Whereby if I'm developing a software as a computer science student, I need to bring on board a social science student so that I know, yes, the innovation is okay, but what is the impact to the community? What is needed? What exactly do I need to change in my code that will cater for that particular society? And when you talk about society, we go to the other part, which calls for community innovations. So yes, you know your programming and you are developing. You are to develop an application that suits the community, not just what you feel will work for the community. On that, let's hear from our honorable and we see what do we have.
Thank you so much. Well, to me, I think the focus should be on prototyping and community impact. First of all, as students, we already have the ideas. In fact, if you told me right now to come up with an idea to solve a specific problem, I'd give you one. But what we lack as students is the space, the tools, the funding of the projects. So I believe Nexus could look at helping a student come from the stage of ideation. And then also, I think this is like more of a question to the developers of the whole project.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Ever since I reached here, all I've had is tech. All I've had is when you're developing something, it's all tech related. But as a minister, I'm representing all students of the university. And one of the things I advocate for is inclusivity. So how are people like people from social sciences, people from journalism, people from those other faculties, how are they going to feel included in this project?
Okay. Let's get the last submission, then we shall respond to that.
Thank you, moderator. I agree with her. Should put in a lot of effort in prototyping. And I think there was a workspace as well.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and the workspace, because I have a lot of problems in UCU that I feel ImagoDei can solve. Some time back, when you ordered for food from main guild canteen, they used to have guys who would come with the food up to the office, up to HR office, up to the library here, bringing us food. But I think most of them resigned because that distance was quite a hassle. They could reach office sweating, and they also ask you for a tip. Fine, you've paid. Guild canteen some money, but still even the person you see is really, really working hard, and you tip him as well. So that was a big hassle for them. I think that's why we no longer see them delivering food. But the service is still needed. I've skipped lunch, I think, this entire year, because I feel like I'm going to use 20 minutes going down to the teens eat for like around 45, and then coming back, you're now full. You use more time walking back up. So, in the prototyping space, I want us to develop delivery drones. I'm sure you've seen videos online where they're already working in China.
Yes.
Yeah, in China, they have those drones that deliver food. Why don't we have them setting up from Guild Canteen and flying over this building, delivering to our balcony there at MIS. The same with the account side, HR, because we see the thing is possible, but we don't have a production line sort of. And my vision for ImagoDei is to, in the future, to have people coming from other universities just to come and do malo here. Be like, yo, come go to UCU main campus. They have drones that deliver food. And someone comes here, see them setting off, landing, yeah? So I want it to be like an exciting campus. I mean, the VC's vision here is to transform this into an e-campus. If he comes here and if people come here just to see tech in action, seeing all these fancy things happening, I think it will be a plus for us. Sorry, I've not talked about the side of the students, but I've also lectured some classes, and we have to tell the class reps to go and look for projectors, and they take like 1 hour. So we lose 1 hour into the class looking for a projector. But if this delivery drone is setting off from maybe UIS, bringing the projector, oh my God, I feel like that's next level. It's not magic. We've seen it possible in China, and I think we have drones in Uganda, just giving them a payload and coordinates. So if you have this production prototyping space, I feel like we are going to transform this campus. Thank you. Oh, she has a question.
Okay, please.
Thank you so much. My question is to him, plus everyone that's in the developing team. He talked about drones. In the beginning, you said we are naturally wired to be creative and innovative, right? Yes, I have a problem with, I don't know if, I will not mention the department, assembling stuff to come up with a robot or what. You're already using someone's product. You're assembling, following a company, something like that. Yes, so I believe with innovation or creativity, we have to start something from scratch. So is this Nexus going to also help solve such a problem? Like, can we also have our own products that we can assemble instead of assembling someone's products? You get?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Honorable, I think I can answer that. Mostly the purpose. Actually, your question defines the actual purpose of ImagoDei. That was the thing we looked at, and we are like, can't we? Why are we using? Can't we? You get? So you also talked about how are we bringing others? You have had innovation, development, and mostly it is associated to computing. Basically, innovation is everywhere. It's a general term. Just because when you are used to a certain domain, and that's where that word is being used, you feel it only matches that side. When we get to agriculture, there's also innovation. They would want to innovate or bring something new on board. Let's take, for example, we want to make an automatic irrigation system, but we don't know what we need. But our side from agriculture, we have seen we need something to, we are tired of carrying the watering cans all the time. Can't we use the available technology and say, at this time, water, at this time, water. When it is this amount, stop. So it is still innovation everywhere. And this space mostly is to actually bring on board all faculties and schools, not merely one sector of, let's say, computing. No. It is for all students in the university. So that's why we have these laid, and you are giving us a go-ahead where to mostly focus on. Our previous presenter, Mr. Mark from UIS, talked about, can't we have something like that after seeing a challenge in UCU of having lunch at your convenience? And he brought up the issue of drones in regards to supporting the prototyping part of this hub. Together with our fabrication or the digital fabrication, we want to do what we call reverse engineering. Yes, we know an Arduino board. It's mostly used for simple control, but can't we design our own using, say, the old computers we have had as UIS? And instead of just discarding them off, can't we reverse engineer and either pick out that chip and program it and do something else, rather than just disposing of our old material? So mostly that is what this hub is to have. Yes, I've seen a computer, but how does a computer work? I don't do IT. I only have money for this particular course, but I would want to know what happens behind the computer. There are students who are curious beyond their course. Yes, I want, this very week, one of my students asked me, how can I develop an algorithm? When I look onto their curriculum, they don't have what we call data structures and algorithm. So I was like, that is really good. Now follow it up with me and we see how best. Now that student, beyond his course, he wants to see, how can I develop an algorithm? And basically to do anything. An algorithm is just steps a computer follows to do something. How can I develop one? You get. So with this space, because yes, we have computer labs, but when you look at their schedule, there is either a class. If it's not a class, it's a break. And if it's a break, the computer lab attendant also has to go for a break. The next session, there is also another class. We have labs. Let's take the example of the robotics lab. Mostly there is for you to implement what we have learned from class. But can't we do what we have not learned beyond class? I'm in law. I'm doing a law course, or I'm doing bachelor's of law, and I say at the end of these 4 years, I want to deal in this part of law, cyber law. But do I need to know what happens in cyber law? How about if I know how cyber security is before I go ahead and implement the law to understand the actual problem? Yes, please, Honorable.
Thank you so much. First of all, I love teamwork, and I have a suggestion. Is it possible to create a field on Nexus where a field that can connect people with the same ideation?
Thank you. First, I will always refer, because on our documentation, we tried our level best to look around everything. We have that aspect called collaboration space, where it is not supposed to be that it is owned by these students of this particular program. No. You can all be there the way we are here, and we just randomly think about a problem, and we see from your aspect, just like how we are having this talk. We sat and we saw this is good. Now, what we are doing, we are sharing on how to even improve it further.
I think you've not understood my question. What I meant by connecting people with the same ideation, if let me say I'm trying to work on power saving system, and there is someone in law that is trying to make research about the same kind of, I don't know if they do that, but I'm just giving it as an example, something like that. And there's another person, their side in journalism, I don't know, doing something connected to what I am doing. Is there a way that person could get a notification that there's actually this person in computing that is doing this? Because if I'm looking for the technology bit of the project I'm working on, and I get a notification there is someone from tech actually doing it, I'm going to look for that person and ask them more about what I wanted to know. You understand?
Okay, I understand you. Maybe I didn't answer in your line, but mostly the way we are looking at it, we don't have a platform that if you am good at this, no. We are providing the environment. So if you feel you are working on power based project and you are there and you are sharing with the people in the room, because we take the assumption that we all of us who are in this room have something critical we can add on this project. So when you bring up that project, I can be like, oh, I know Mr. Kong knows about this. So you see, in that process, I'll communicate or talk to Mr. Kong to come on board. Rather than you staying in your room, you suffer with AI, you do literature review, you do ABC. You understand? It is an environment we are providing for everyone to access and be free to share your idea, and we are offering support of any sort. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tony. Maybe I'll also ask a question to that effect. When you speak about ImagoDei, you're trying to, from my understanding of your submission, you're trying to create a space for a student maybe to collaborate with another person in order to achieve uniformity, maybe in terms of submission. Then now, like you've also explained the aspect of facilities such as computer libraries, where it is tricky for somebody to find it free and use it. I must admit I've only used computer laboratories during my course of computing course units. So my question is, at what time or what is the structure of ImagoDei? How does it permit a student like I with a busy schedule to fit in? Because we have also seen that there are days when there are days when the library is locked during maybe community worship. In other words, what available time is there? What schedule has been set aside? What way is ImagoDei receptive to students with very busy schedules?
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. With us, we have been joined by Mr. Kivon, and he'll say more about himself and he'll give us the right answer to that. Yes, please.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Kevin, and Kevin Mohoz. I'm the Technical Services Librarian, so I'm a librarian in simple terms. So, as my previous colleague that has been here, Mark, he's he's in charge of innovations, UIS side, and so I'm in charge of innovations, the library. But I don't work alone, we are a team. So, thanks for the questions and for the conversation. I would like to briefly take us back, and then bring us back on track where we are. So, ImagoDei, yes, we all knew it's the image of God. Here, Mr. Tonny took us through it, and yes, it is. But then it has another concept, a part of it, part of the name there is a word nexus. So nexus is more of a meeting point. It's a junction where, you know, we used to have that thing, life at crossroads. It was an English topic. I don't know whether any of you did it, but where things meet and cross and that point. So why do we say ImagoDei Nexus? Given the nature of from the creation end, and biblically, we are creators. We are people who have much more potential. Science always tells us that part of our brain we always use not even 60%. Yeah? The question is why? Is it because of the systems? Mr. Kong was raising a concern with the systems, the politics and everything, which was good. Some of you have raised concerns to do with what is happening and how should you make whatever challenges you're facing currently. But ImagoDei in its sense, ImagoDei Nexus in its sense, why do we say we feel you people need the service? Yeah. Being a librarian, we have a lot of services. Yeah. And our business is you people. Yes. UIS, whatever they do, it is you people. They cannot exist as UIS without the students, without the staff. Because then, who will they serve? Yeah. But as they serve you, they realize, oh, our users have a challenge in querying. What should we do? Let us have a ticketing system. Yeah. In that way, you also notice that, okay, you created a solution for a particular problem, but again, it has also become a problem. People are not using the tickets. Why then? There, we come in that standpoint that there's a lot that is going on. There is a lot that is transpiring. There's emerging technologies. So ImagoDei Nexus comes to be a solution. Yesterday in the talk show, a student raised a very important concern where she said they are using AI, they are happily using it, and she's a law student, and they really don't know what they are doing. That was her conclusion. They don't know what they are doing. And to me, it was right. It was like, okay, then why do we purchase? There are law books that we purchase each year, and they are very expensive. And then I'm like, okay, why do we have those books then in the first place? So ImagoDei comes to guide and offer the support, the missing support. There is what happens in the lecture rooms. Yeah. First, we are starting with our community. I wouldn't advise us to go into Uganda and all those other things. But our community, how do we better our community? It's a very good challenge. We have a talk show here. People don't know what is going on. Yeah? That's a very simple problem. But why is it a problem? You give someone a link, a YouTube link, they don't feel comfortable watching a YouTube video. Yeah? Attention span. There's a lot at stake. These days I see mental health is overtaking precedence in companies and everywhere. But in my thinking, I don't think it's the case. What if we can reverse engineer from the ground in the academia setup? Yeah? The way you people learn. What if we can do more as you're learning? So as you leave to get ready for work, you know what to do. Yeah? In that, ImagoDei Nexus comes to bridge the gap and silos in the current systems. But what we are thinking is, pursuant to the library's mandate, the UIS's mandate partly, because we have different mandates, but for the library's mandate is to support teaching, learning, research, and innovation. So the question comes, are the library services really innovative enough to support you in your learning process? And then it comes back, because it's our question to you, but then we also don't, I wouldn't say that we have entirely the answer, because we may not know exactly what you are missing from, where you are getting the theories from, where you're learning these other things and the applicability. But again, we are like, what if there is a place where you can thrive morally, ethically, being yourself, being more of you? Yeah. Sometimes we get drained into chasing more profession, like becoming more profession, what, I need to understand this book, and okay, I need to understand this cap for the lawyers. And then you're like, okay, where does it leave my extra skill of, how is it called? Maybe graphics designing. I've seen so many people. I have a couple of friends who do different things, but they are different professionals. Where does it leave that extra person you be outside you are? Yeah? So ImagoDei is coming as a solution. We are saying we want students to thrive in this place, to be more creative in their thinking, to be more objective, to find more purpose in whatever they are doing. A very simple question to everyone who is here, even graduates. I always ask them a very simple question. It's one sentence question. After you graduate or you have graduated, what next? Some people will tell you, I'm going to look for a job, but I don't have connections. Then the question is, innovation becomes tricky in a sense where people think, I need this a lot of money to make this thing work. But there's another sense of it. What if when you're learning, we can take you through that? Yeah. So part of the literacies, we have innovation literacy. Yeah. I'm trying to respond to her, to you, to him, and to him. We have innovation literacy. In innovation literacy, we want you people to understand the full innovation process. But partly what you study in class, because we are very sure you study that. But now here you'll be able to see what happens at each stage. When I go into ideation, how much time do I need to understand that this is actually something unique in the industry? What are the different stages of innovation? And what is the novelty of the innovation? Some people, these terms may be complex, but then it will be a learning process that will check competences at each level. Yeah. So where we have, now that is a small bit of innovation literacy. But let us talk about AI literacy. AI literacy, we are not saying that we want people to not take AI as a challenge and take it up. No, we are taking a different aspect. What are the ethical values of you using AI? What should you actually embody in yourself to understand that now this is my extent with AI, the rest part is me? There are people who don't have those limitations, and there are many. Maybe some of us have fallen victims. Yeah. Yesterday I was self-testing myself, and I happened to do a quiz before I read through the course. It was an AI course, and I got 14 out of 15 without reading. I did not use AI. I said, okay, let me do the quiz instead of reading the whole content. And I did pass. So the question comes back to, where is our critical thinking? Where are our Christian values in this current world? There is a reason why UCU we have course units embedded in our programs that are Christian based. Yeah, it's not it's to impart in you a certain value that you will not get with money. It's something that just grows. It's something that grows in you. I studied from Makerere. I did not get that, but right now I know what it means to have that, because I'm just learning from the process. Yeah. So we need to make students understand how best can it apply to them. What are the opportunities underlying whatever challenge they think is a challenge? Yeah. So for AI literacy, we want to be able to, for students, we want students to be able to have clear and independent decision, to be like, I'm comfortable using AI and I'm okay to say I use AI. Yeah. Given that, yesterday someone was talking about publishing. These days, as you're publishing an article, part of the acknowledgements, you have to acknowledge that, yeah, part of the acknowledgements, you have to acknowledge that you used AI. Yeah. So that means what? They're not saying don't use AI. How much of it did you use? These people give you a template. You have your content, and then they give you a template, and it's very weird. You realize you don't have the time to copy this, put this here, but you can tell AI to merge the two. You wrote your content, you tell AI to merge the two, so you can acknowledge that. Yeah. So these are some of the things we need to practically assess and help students to understand that actually using it is not bad, but this is the limit, this is how far you can go, these are the limitations, and this is what is going on. That is for the bit of AI literacy. We have project literacy. This happens in Faculty of Engineering more, and I think computing, they do more projects. And for the rest, it's not the case. Some produce dissertations. Competence-based learning is here. I don't know whether students have known of it, but it's going to be assessing what competence, what skill have you gained at the end of your education. Yeah, yesterday we had the engineer. He said, when they assess you whether you know how to use AutoCAD, they will also assess you to see, can you really apply the standards with the AutoCAD? Yeah, so now it's multidimensional, and it's a challenging terrain with the current way we are learning. So our core reason why we want thoughts, why we are thinking that we need thoughts from students in this podcast is, what are those things that you think are happening there, and ImagoDei can chip in to support, can chip in, can be a place where you freely come anytime, any day. You be like, okay, this day I want to know more about digital literacy, and we tell you, if you're taking digital literacy, it has a 3-day package, a week package. You choose which one will you take, and then you start on that. You may say, okay, I don't want necessarily to go for that. I just want to know, how do you solder? Just how do these tools work? You come, you test the tools, you use them yourself, and then you're like, okay, now I know how to use a screwdriver. Yeah. Those who do the soldering, the electronics, mechatronics, they know that there's a way you should hold a solder. Some people hold it like a pencil, some hold it like a stick. So it matters. Yeah. So those are some of the things I feel. ImagoDei, we think, and we are proposing that students to have more creative ways of learning and engaging with the library, not only reading, but doing extra experimentations, projects, and all that. I would submit, though it has been lengthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kevon. As you are concluding, once again, you mentioned you really want to know from us, the students, what ImagoDei Nexus could help us with, right? And again, when you're talking at some point, you mentioned about us focusing on our community right now as UCU section. And we first leave alone the Uganda part of it. I'm thinking you had picked that from my previous opinion. I would like to try to persist on that again one more time. Maybe let me try to explain why. Mr. Kevon and Mr. Tonny, the thing is, when I was studying since primary through high school, actually maybe stopping primary, we used to ask us, what is the backbone of Uganda? Who remembers that question? The backbone. And what was the answer? The answer used to be farming and agriculture. But as I moved on to high school, to university, I don't hear people say that, people talk about that anymore. The reason why I try to insist that on, like, okay, let me go back to the example Mr. Mark talked about of us innovating, like Imago supporting and us innovating drones, serving food in UCU. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for if a student is going to stay in UCU for the whole of his life. But like when the way you ask a graduate that when you're done graduating, what next? So if a student joins Imago, or if Imago promotes such elements, let me say delivering of food on a drone, it's good. But when I get out after that university, I'm finished my 3 years, what next? The question is, how many universities or companies out there are going to invest in such a thing? But we know that our land, our agriculture is readily available. So the reason why I insist on that, if you can understand what outside there is, what Uganda is, then Imago can mimic or teach certain things that are really hungry to receive innovation outside there. certain things that can fit actually in our economy, certain things that actually fit in our politics. And the third thing, talking about China, they have already done, let me term it as fake. They've already done the fake agriculture, sprinklers, automatic in farming and all those main fields. Now to go to the cool auto driving cars, to the cool delivery drones. They've already done, but now us, if you really want to start with the cool things, with a delivery of food by a drone, that's what we want to start with as Ugandans. Are we really on the right track? Imago, are you really helping us?
That's what I said earlier. I scaled it down for you. Yeah. There are a couple of things we are looking at, and he shared from his experience. I hope you noted that. I'm streamlining who does what, because it is all in our thinking. Yeah. These projects we think they are going to be led by students, but coally, before we proceed with certain projects, we need to understand what are the simple things that you are facing from your learning process that we can start with. And with that, that's where we came with this list of literacies. Literacies, they are competence checked. So that means at the end of a certain literacy, there are skills we expect you to be having as a person. Yeah. When we say innovation literacy, you know the word innovation is very tricky because everyone understands it their way. People think creating new things, someone thinks it is creating something, but what if it is something different? Because I've been reading about it, and to me, the way we perceive it is it's either halfway or it's the other way around. Yeah. So I think that's for the bit of innovation. We are talking about innovations, but what is the critical step in innovation? That's where we want to start from. That's why I'm like, before you think of making that drone, before you think of inventing that solution, what is actually the starting point? That's where the question is. Yeah. What you study in class, how can you apply it? That's the question. And that is what I'm answering. That's why I was like, before you tell me about China, the difference with China is one. China, they do more of experimental learning. You're not going to learn about Newton's laws of motion and you are writing a book in a book. They will get a ball, they roll it and tell you that is first Newton's law. They roll it again, it knocks somewhere, they be like, this is the limitation of the law. Does that click? If it comes to light, I saw they have some interesting toys that experiment the light. All the light we have is theory. I remember drawing telescopes in Form 6, and the Galilean telescope is very complex. If you're not good enough, you may not understand what is going on. A sextant is a simple setup, but very few people who click on it. Yeah? So what we are saying is, what if you start with the basics? Yeah? We want you people to be grounded in the fundamentals, the basics. Because given how you study, you come from different backgrounds. Someone got an A in physics, but they're not sure of their physics. So this person is doing mechatronics. But even explaining a simple resistor. You know resistor? It has a color code of 10 colors. I don't know whether any mechatronics student can tell me the 10 colors and what they represent. It is a funny question, simple question, hard question. What does it show us? There are fundamentals that cannot fully be addressed in class. Class, they will give you the starting point because this is campus, this is university, and that's how you learn. What happens after that? Then research. Who is going to guide you with the research? You will not go with okay, if you're smart enough, you can do it alone. Yeah, like some do, like you do, like I did. But that takes a kind of energy. It takes a kind of sleepless nights. Those people who take in extra effort to learn extra things, you tend to have sleepless nights watching YouTube and trying out stuff. Yeah? There are few people who do that because that requires attention span to a certain level. Currently, someone is just, okay, a simple setup. You're in class. Someone's phone is always the notifications are always popping. For them, they're never concentrated. You have majority of them, 90%. Or someone is soldering and then the phone is here and ding. So you get that? So what are we saying? ImagoDei Nexus, what we are thinking is, with all these literacies, we are taking you back to the roots. We're taking you back to the fundamentals. And because that's what is lacking in whatever you study in classes. People just don't know what happens. They start in the middle of things. Example, Linux. So many people know about Linux. But how many know what Linux did to contribute on Linux? Because initially, it was not his project. It was someone's project. He just made the kernel and it comes back to what he was asking. When we talk about very simple setup, okay, I'm referring to computing students and engineering because I relate more to the simple things they skip and go to the hard things. Yeah, we shall not talk about making a drone if you cannot explain to me a schematics of a PCB. Even some people at PCB describing through hole and SMD components, it's hard. Talking about engineering, there are things, physics fundamentals. You tell someone, okay, now you see, according to this law, when you do this, I may not know what you necessarily do, but I know the principle that governs it. So if you lack the principle, you will lack the concept. I saw a certain interesting device in computing. It's with a UIS. It's a optical fiber splicer. Is it optical fiber fusion splicer? It uses a very simple physics principle, total internal reflection, to make it fuses the fiber optics, but fiber optics transmit data using a simple principle of total internal reflection. And now it comes back. Why did we study total internal reflection? Now you see how it applies? We want people to understand it that way. Using small things to make big things. Don't start with a big thing because you don't know actually how the small thing comes up. The person who designed this bottle, there is a reason they put this, for grip. But someone might see it as a design. Did you get that? And then they lack that, okay, why would someone put these ridges? And why are other bottles actually designed in the same format? Actually, these bottles are also patented. When you check in the design's patent, you'll find this Renzoli bottle there. So, now that is innovation literacy. So, these are things that actually students don't know. We are starting with simple things. Last time I was talking to an aeronautic engineer. He's one of the team of ImagoDei Nexus. He said something very simple. In his studying process, he was tasked with his group to make a table. And the table, they made a table for over 6 months. But you may think it as a simple thing, but again, explaining and expounding on what is actually the philosophy behind making a table. And then he also contrasted to a seat. He said another group, they told them to make a seat. For 6 months at campus, you're paying a lot of millions to make a seat and you're an engineer. But they told them one thing. They on the project, they have this social scientist, they have this person who is just there to see the design, maybe to see the color. And then at the end, you present your project to the community, not actually to the university. You go outside in the market, they call people, you start explaining what you did. Okay, now this seat, when you sit, the back, this, you explain everything. Is our education really giving us that? It comes back to that question. And probably the answer, what I think, is no, because we are all in the same education system. So ImagoDei Nexus is coming to address such issues, to have the core reason, the core purpose as to why you are doing whatever you do with clear understanding. That's why we say creativity, critical thinking, problem solving. Yeah, the drone concept is very okay, and those are some of the projects we outlisted. We have a couple of prototyped projects that you will learn from, how to run projects, how to do innovations, and then at the end we'll be like, okay, it's your turn. Yeah, so you should be ready for that, because these questions still come back to you people. Me, I'm not answering, I'm telling you what we are thinking. You get now my perspective? So is it clicking? Like, are we on the same page? Good. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. I must admit, you're making me feel like a layman, which is not supposed to be my position. Anyways, nonetheless, a mentor of mine once told me, wealth belongs to those that create something new, and you cannot create. It's very hard to create something new. Everything we are doing has been done before. So, ImagoDei, I like that my brother is already coming back with examining the deceptive nature maybe of the ImagoDei. And I won't question that. He's tried to intrigue that, and you've tried to digest it. So you asked why people don't come, and you're questioning why people don't have interest in such podcasts, such things, and it intrigues me to tell you something that education has to be fun. And from what you're saying about ImagoDei, you're trying to portray it as something that is receptive to those that pick interest into something. But then I also must note that there are people who have not gotten their niches to date. There are people here who don't know what they find passion in.
Sorry, should I interject?
Please do.
Yes, thank you. On that, actually, you hinted on something I talked about. Just I think I'm a bit quick. We said, okay, this is what we are saying. ImagoDei is not looking for a person who already knows their niche. That is part. That is the easy pick point I would start with. The hard pick point would be this person who comes and is like, where am I? What is going on here? We have also that person. And we are thinking to make you people more curious. Yeah? Why do actually things happen the way they do? Why do you have a USB-C and you have this other port, USB 2.0? And for the lawyers, why do you have to migrate and go into the digital world? Why is law shifting from the culture of books? Lawyers these days carry cool phones, cool gadgets. I don't know whether you have noted that they have the most expensive gadgets, PCs, tablets, phones. But the question comes is, why? Yeah? And now we are saying, there will be, you talked about fun. Yeah? It's there because ImagoDei in its entirety, it's going to have sections. Yeah? So when we say what happens in think tank, yeah? So you are there, you come with your idea, you are like 10, 5 people, you'll be like, okay, I feel like we need to talk about this on this day. Yeah, because we are going to have a submission process. So you talk, you discuss, and maybe you are guided. Yeah. And from there, you're like, okay, I think we spotted a problem. Can we try to do something about this? What are the possible solutions? So now you may proceed to the ideation pod. You get that kind of thing?
Yes,
So
true, true. And then also, my brother here is trying to see the background or maybe the basis where you guys are coming up with the idea from. And right now we are also disclosing the present. So my question now brings us to the future.
Yes.
What is the future after we have had ImagoDei? If I've benefited from ImagoDei, what is my future? Where is the continuity? You've been speaking about graduates that are always, you always ask them a question, what next? And they are saying no connections. But I also must admit, even our lecturers still need connections. It's a true fact.
Okay.
Even our lecturers still need connections.
I'll try to respond to that.
Let me maybe wrap it up.
You have how many points?
I'm wrapping it up.
Okay.
So, in other words, we want to understand what's the future of ImagoDei.
Okay.
The future, because when you're introducing something to us as students, much as we like to be receptive, some of us are very prospective and we want to understand what comes thereafter. If somebody is in their 4th year and joins maybe the program or innovation, how do they benefit thereafter? What is the future? And then also, what's its application? If I want ImagoDei, do I come to library and ask for ImagoDei? Is it an application? Is it an area? People like me, people that I'm here to speak for many, so I'm trying to tap into different thoughts. So we want to understand, where do people get this? Where do you find it? Something like that, because it tends to be complex when you try and speak about the mechatronics and different things. How do we relate with it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I will start with the last one to make clear what I'm thinking. So, number one, you said ImagoDei. It's ImagoDei Nexus is it's a service like any other service. Yeah. By this service, in its nature, it's going to be more of experimental. Yeah, we're going to be doing more of experimental learning. You're not the experiment, but you'll be experimenting. Yeah, so it's a place where you come just to get new ideas, new thoughts, different minds, different things. Yeah, it's not limited to anyone. It's going to be housed under the library. Yeah, but it's going to be housed under the library, but it does not limit that whatever you find there, it will be library based. Yeah, there are things you will see and be like, oh, actually, this should be in engineering. Why is it here? Yeah, that kind of thinking. But we are saying curiosity to grow. There are things that should be in place. There should be things that excite you to think beyond what you see. Yeah, those of Galileo, they were able to draw and speculate how the Earth evolves around the planet, in the space. Yeah, but they were never out of space. It was just what they were thinking, and it was correct. Do we still have such creative minds? It comes back to what you're trying to address. Some people are still working, but they still need more connections. To me, I would say, if you really understand your core purpose as a person, first, yeah, you always know where you're going. But if you don't, there's a starting point. Yeah, we can even pick up that person who is just, I need to figure out this. Yeah, there are people who are studying programs and they just need to figure out whatever is going on with their life, whatever they are doing and how it will apply in the next 5 years. There are those people. And there's a person who knows, in 10 years, I'm looking up to this. There are such people. There are students who are not sure of whether after their graduation they will have jobs, but they are sure they can do certain things. Yeah. Why am I saying that? I studied in a class of 126 students and I know them by hand. Yeah. And why am I saying that is, you realize that as students when we are studying, some be like, okay, I need to finish this course and know what next. And there's that person who is like, I'm sure about the next. What comes, I'm ready. Yeah. We need students to be in a ready economy. Given in the Uganda's current status, I don't think we need to talk about connections anymore. We are in a status that America had in the 1970s. We are in the status currently that Japan had in the 1960s. We are in the same status that China had in the 1950s. When you look at all those years, they have 10-year gaps and either 8 or 10. Yeah? Why am I saying that? Japan thrived its economy because, first of all, it's a landlocked country. It has no mineral. It has all the bad things you'd think of a country. It is the most advanced country in technology. All inventions, great inventions came from Japan. If you didn't know even a simple Kiara code, it was a Japanese invention working in Volkswagen. There are people who decided to make solutions out of nothing. We want students to understand that. If they do, they will be able to respond to what he asked. What is the backbone of Uganda? We can't jump onto that question. It's a big one. Reason. If you lack the fundamentals, the principle of what you're doing, you really miss the ground, the grassroots. Then you will not be able to sustain whatever you go with on top. You can't start shaking a tree from the top and then you'll be like, okay, I'm going to pluck it from the top. It will be a tricky one. So some things happen that way. Coming back, I want to address the issue of why we are thinking it's viable in the current status. Uganda being a growing economy, there's a lot of opportunity that people are not seeing. And in that opportunity, there lies competences. What can you do? Last time I was in town and I realized one of my friends is now a mechanic repairing PlayStations. But you know the mechanicing he does? He solders parts he never studied in class. He gets a PlayStation, he opens it, he checks everything, he fixes it. He never went to school for that. What does that mean? And what is the competence? What are we trying to address? If such people can do that, why are students that have gone through these 16 years of education, yeah, they are here for the extra 3 to make 20 or 19? Why don't they have the same kind of energy, the same kind of thinking, the creativity? Where does it underlie? Yeah, we want to do these cool things, but all companies, Google started as a garage. Right now it's $1 billion company. Yeah, and it started with very funny computers, the MS-DOS. They were very bulky. You know, you open one window, don't open two, because if you open two, the thing blacks out. So some of the people, I don't know whether they had a chance to see that computer, but it was very funny. That's how that multi-dollar billion company started. They did not start a company because there were no solutions. They started a company curious of what they can do. There was Yahoo already. There was Microsoft. Google was just coming in an industry that already existed. But you can see how much wonders Google has done. Am I talking something? So this is that same kind of thinking. We want a space where people become more curious to understand what is the role of education. People are asking themselves, okay, I can study from AI. It is okay. Yeah? You can go to AI and get a course outline and study. But then what? Do you have the competence to represent what you can do with that AI? Because yesterday, evidently, doctor said, you use AI, you don't know what you want, it gives you anything, you have wrong things. Just that's how simple it is. So we want students to understand that there is more to get, there is more to achieve in this whole terrain of education. Yeah, not making it so exciting, but making it fun in a learning way. So that's what we think. But it's going to be housed under the library with a lot of partnerships that we shall show you, stakeholders, who are the players in the different activities, and whatever will be going on.
Mr. Kevin, thank you so much. This is actually really nice. However, to me, it still sounds like an extension of the library. An extension of the library. But my question still stands, especially on prototyping. And that's something you've actually not talked about a lot. Prototyping for someone, let me say for me, who is an electronic student. And maybe I don't know about the simulation bit, I don't know how to use Proteus, I don't know how to use Tinkercad and everything. So you've talked about the beginning of the journey, a lot of it, but you've not talked about the mid journey and the end. And that's what makes the whole thing fun. You know, these are students. If you do a lot of theory related things, trust me, they're not going to get any interest in everything. So the fun bit comes in the mid journey and the end journey. What is the future plan for the prototyping bit?
You see, answering in response to what you have said, part of what we are thinking, there are things that look like toys, but they make a certain sense. I once found a friend who had these gravitational balls. You know them? You push one, and it pushes the last one. That thing is a physics experiment, but people see it in a way that it's an emotional ball. And then I asked the person, but are you really sure that this thing can help you maintain your emotions? Yeah, because it is this. They are as I experimented with this bottle. In prototyping, we are not going to give you the theory. We are showing you how does it apply, because you people have a lot of content. Trust me, you know what you're doing. Yeah. The only part is comes back to, do we really know how it applies? because that would make it fun. So you talked about, we can't determine what is the rate of that middle part you said at the end before you move. Yeah? You will not, we know where we want to head. We know we want to reach in a UCU where students do projects and scalable projects. Yeah, you do your campus project and it will lead you into MTN. They sponsor it, you continue with that. Yeah, probably some that are scalable at university level. Maybe you talk to with the different stakeholders, DRPI, UIS. They can come on board and maybe you see how it can scale up, and they help you maintain it with the rights and patents put in consideration, and they make sure that everything is on you with partnership with them. Yeah, something like that. But before we look that far, that's what I was trying to tell you. Before we go for the big things, we need to first ground people in actually what is missing. Yeah, with the simple things, we don't need so much things. May I told you a very simple experiment. Get a resistor from the board. A mechatronic student knows that that is a resistor. They might even tell you the ohms. You put the color band there, and then ask the person, decode the color band to get the resistance you gave me. It's a very simple question. He said he can't relate with it because I think I will also familiarize more with what is going on with the law. But with the law, there are a couple of challenges because their foundations, they are the predecessors, the people who started this profession, they were more grounded into the knowledge of the book. Yeah, and for them, they are like, when I write my notes, I'm good to go. Yeah, so you cannot wake up and start. That's why they don't have a lot of systems. Do you? You don't. Very few law firms that have actually law management systems. They usually do their things manually, and it is beautiful that way. Yeah, but we are saying, given that current kind of complexity, students in their different industries, what can they do? Such things. Now the question still comes back to you, people. What are you facing in your learning processes that you think we can bridge the gap? Before we look into, I want to make a car. I'm thinking of making this moving chair. Before you look into that. So yeah, that's it. And
maybe another question. So if a student from any faculty is trying to access Nexus and maybe they find challenges, what's that support system you put in place or immediate feedback channel that could help them?
That is coming. Currently, we are getting your concepts. We are getting your thoughts about what is going on. Yeah. So, briefly, what you asked, this process is going to be a guided process and a tracked process, and a process where you people can still refer to, even if you're not here. Yeah. When you write it on your CV and you reference it, you'll still find it here. We are trying to ensure that. But before we go that far, because that is way too far from us, yeah? I was sharing with him, I was like, you people need to start thinking of contributing to open science, yeah? As you see students, we have so many people who are saying I'm programmers. They don't even know a single open source they are contributing to, even making a simple pull request. Last time I was challenged by a computer science student who didn't know how to use GitHub to make a pull request. And then I was like, okay. You see, it's a simple thing. It's happening all over the world. They don't know what is going on. Yeah? For law, it's kind of complex because you people do cyber law and you read a lot of content. Yeah? But what actually happens in cyber, it's a different case. Trust me. You people need to step up and say, we need to know what hardware runs in these machines. Case in point, did you know that whatever you delete from your machine, it stays there? But in a very small, tiny memory. It is on that chip. It's on the motherboard. What happens is, when they run it into the software and they use softwares that communicate to the kernel, they can retrieve the same information. How does that apply to cyber law? When you're in court, you're trying to defend a case and they deleted footage or they tampered with it. Can you be able to track the forensics? Can you be knowing that, okay, actually, I don't know a guy, but I know this software that can do this. I've ever used it in one of my learning processes at campus. Does that click? we want people to think multidimensionally. Okay, it's good to think in your line of discipline, but thinking what happens elsewhere is healthy, because you are not lost. You're not lost. You may need to know, how does a person who is nervous in court behave, and how can I use it to my advantage? Who do you need? First of all, you may need a social scientist, a person who is a behaviorist. Second, you may need a medical doctor to tell you that if you see someone doing this or maybe shaking, you can know that maybe they are not emotionally stable, so you can use it to your advantage. But these are things that you not get from class. They will just tell you facts, 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 and which is good. But how do facts apply with these extra other bits? You know, we look at movies are very funny. They talk about what is happening and it is applied, and people find it as magic when they're in those spaces. Yeah? So these are things that I think we shall be discussing in these different literacies. Yeah? The AI literacy, the innovation, the project literacy, and the other literacies. So now
I have one more question. Just one
okay,
more.
the last one, then I conclude.
It's a bit random.
Yes.
You know, I'm a business lady, so I believe we are customers, we the students. And yeah, we are your customers. Apart from the university being, you gaining from the university, how are you going to benefit from this nexus? You, the developers.
Now, you see, this is my JD. That question sounds funny because this is my job description. Yeah. So I've answered her. But I want people to think this way. Do you know how PayPal came up? You know who started PayPal? Okay, the $1 billion you know right now. Actually, he's a trillionaire right now. He's one. Okay. Which is okay. Elon Musk. You see, Elon Musk initially making some of whatever he was making, sometimes you look at what is the challenge and how can I address it without, okay, we all need the money, but sometimes it's about imparting societal change, yeah, and that costs something. Linux could patent his kernel. Even now, he never did. If he did, he would make a lot of money because there is no other kernel on earth that is more stable than Linux. Defense systems, healthcare, Android, everything you know, every device you know runs Linux. Do you know how much money he would have? That means even Elon Musk, the rich, presumably, what you have said, he's no longer, would still not be equal to him because he uses his system. Do you get the kind of thing I'm talking about? If we could revolutionize education for people to think in a way that, because you see, giving another live example, a QR code, I would suggest all of us to go and make some just little research about that person. He's called Hiro what? Not Hiroshima. It's but the name has Hiro. So that man, when he made his QR code, they told him to patent it and to make other people pay for it, to use it, because it was an innovation. It was something that has never existed. It can contain any data and every data. Because he saw limitations in a barcode, because a barcode only holds particular number of strings that are limited to maybe 50 characters. But when he did, he said something. He said, to be able to contribute to the world, you don't have actually to own one. You have to share it. To own the world is not to take it by you. You share it. He shared his experience. He shared his barcode. For free, everyone uses it. But it is never patented. And he said they should never patent it. He's still alive. He's a professor, I think, now. That is one. Number two, we have, penicillin. Yeah, you have all taken those tabs of stomach pains, manyanga, headache, and all that. Penicillin is a very powerful drug that was developed by someone who later decided not to patent. Yeah, he let it for free. Now, US economy is very funny. They patented a process to make penicillin. You get? Because for them, they were like, okay, we need to make more money in this process because they could make more molds faster, fabricated molds. Yet he was using traditional methods. Yeah, you let things there, and then the mold grows, and then the penicillin mold stays there, and then they extract. But then Americans came up with a process that speeds up the whole thing. Americans, they are money-minded, and for them, their economy, it is money, full stop. So they patented their process, but they did not patent to make penicillin. Yeah. Now, what am I arriving at? Strong innovations and things that have impacted the world. To somewhat extent, you always benefit as a person, but you have to leave the monetary part. And if at some point we have that kind of sense, it would be good. So I've responded to her. I want to briefly talk about experimental and imaginal learning. I've been reminded by my colleague. So he's my colleague. Now, part of this is a kind of learning that you learn by doing. You do things. Yeah. So that's how you can be sure that actually I can do this. You can't tell me I do Windows installation and you never did. You can't tell me, now Cap 23 of the Civil Act says this and you have never read it. Yeah? You have read it, you have practiced maybe in the mood, so you know you can reference and be like, oh, actually I talked about this time. So I'm sure when to use it. We want students to have that kind of thinking. We want them to engage more into the experimental and imaginal learning and their basic concepts. Just learn by doing. Do things and that's how you learn. I think that is exciting because if I talk about a theory and I say, okay, this and this and this and this combined, you make that same theory practical. Yeah? I think that is fun to me. That's what I think. And that is learning. So that's where we stand, and that is what we say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kivon. From that, I've learned a lot. I don't know whether our panelists have also tried to capture why we are coming or pushing ImagoDei Nexus further. It is an experimental environment, not for you to carry your notes, but to understand your notes. It is not a field related to money that, yes, I'm going to do this prototype, we have this product, then we sell. Not really. But the thing is, yes, in class you develop that project. How do you get money from it? You get, not that we are going to develop a product that we are going to sell. We have developed many applications. How much have you so far gained from them? Simple thing is, I'll still use the side of technology. They have a course unit where they do essential hardware and software concepts. What they usually do there is things what UIS is providing to you this week. The question is, you have studied that. Have you made any money from it? Yes? Have you made any money from it? So, ImagoDei is to show you that with those skills, you can actually make money. But how? Yes, you say, I know RAM. But have you ever seen one? Have you ever even opened your laptop to change one? Or you are just bringing it to UIS to say, let me wait for the next UIS week. That's when I'll bring my laptop. But you have studied. So for it, it is there to show you that actually you can open your laptop and you will not harm it. If you are scared of using your actual laptop, it will provide the equipment. Open it. This is the RAM. This is how we replace it. So that when you go out there, you see, no matter the domain, my laptop doesn't run. What could be the issue? You have experienced that already. So you'll be like, no, this guy is charging me 100K for the RAM. I can do it. It is to equip you regardless of your program, regardless of your domain. And also, the other side where everyone wants money. You have seen, you have experienced, this is how it is done. When you are out, before you go to that job you want, don't you think you can make money as well? Let me use my experience. As at campus, that was year one, first semester. Even before knowing that I have a course unit that's going to talk about hardware and software, I came with this knowledge that I know how to change an operating system. But how did I know? One time, I get my PC and it is just showing a black screen. It says no bootable device. I'm like, how can I solve this? Those days we didn't have AI. So I was like, I know my guy who knows how to install an operating system. So when I went to that guy, and the guy was telling me, you mean you can't install an operating system? I was triggered and I was like, but what does it take to actually know how to install an operating system? That time he did it, but trust me, up to now I've never gone back to him. And now when I joined campus, immediately I was like, oh, I took my time on learning how to install an operating system. And I'm in a learning environment where majority of the people don't know. Can't I make money from that? That's a skill I learned by force the other time. Because I was tickled. You don't know. You mean you don't like? Someone asked in a way that the thing is so easy. Just like now if I say, Peter, can you change your RAM? Does Peter know RAM? Now, another Peter doesn't know RAM. But they have a computer. But it is something small they can do. So with ImagoDei, it is to bring to you such an experience. And by the end of first semester, by the way, I managed to save 300,000. Just those skills, nothing much. I'm not programming, I'm not doing anything. Because a mere fact of someone downloading a software and installing the software, people don't know. But they say, we are at the university, I carry my laptop every day. But even a simple program, they need to look for an expert. And they are charged. They are like, Pastor, it is done. We're in a world where viruses are everywhere. Cyber attacks are everywhere. Tomorrow it's not going to work. And now you're going to spend again. Now that is the kind of problem UCU wants to address. That yes, I'm doing agriculture, but actually I can do simple setup of my machine. Not for money purpose from the university, but to make you enjoy your service and the tuition you pay. That, at least I know how to update my operating system. Simple skills, but impactful. Before we even go further to developing a food delivery drone, those labs are there for you to experience. UIS is here is not for only the UIS team to work in. We have many programs at campus that can do something within the UIS week. It just takes your passion to come and be like, I know how to do this. How can I join? how can I be of help? You are giving back to the community. And you talked about the issue of connection. Connection, you don't need to know someone. I connect you because I saw you are good at that thing. I always ask in class, who knows this? You find that the class points at one person. That's already the connection. And those are the connections we say. So as you are, whenever you are, you find a challenge. No. Mr. Peter handled that case in moot, or is better in that field of law. You get? That's where the connection. And how are you exposing yourself out? That's the aim of ImagoDei. You come, we don't know anything. We are there and we just be tickled. This. Your thoughts you throw. We build them and get something out of that. I don't know whether you have any other question before we close. Yes, please.
Well, this is the message for the graduates, because see, by the time we finish campus, most times when we're already graduating, we may believe like we have everything, but one thing that I'm certified is learning never stops. And now here we come at UCU, whereby it has given an opportunity again, creating ImagoDei, and then you can be able to come through and learn, do practical skills, because now here the time is like you just have to be available, and the resources which they're going to provide, and the mentorship and the labs and everything that we may need to do, you can actually practice them from here, instead of waiting when you go in the real work environment and then you have to be teased. But yet you can come back still home and they tell you like, we know you graduated, you didn't know about this or you didn't learn it, but the platform is available for you to learn. So to my conclusion, I appreciate Uganda Christian University, the librarian and UIS for bringing up such an idea whereby it gives students more capacity to innovate whatever field, because depending on what he said, it doesn't have to be only computing students or people who are in tech. It involves a lot. Yeah, everyone. Because even if you're a lawyer, even if you're an agriculture student, a social worker, you can still contribute or learn something from that. If you're allied in a project that you know people who are going to be developing, there's a contribution you're doing, even though it's research, but you're able to defend and be like, I contributed this, I know how it works. And with time, when you get used or familiarity with something, you learn it. We've seen people who did social work, but they can do coding. But then you someone who did IT, you're actually not very good at like the way they are. So it shouldn't be like just because I'm doing this course or I'm in this sector, it should stop me. No. This thing is so large to have seen it, and I've been given the background history of it even before we came for the podcast, and I believe it's a good way for students to come in, those who literally see they can contribute to the world, because our main aim is to end up to give up to the community, benefit the students. Those will be asking like, where do they benefit from? You benefit from when you get the knowledge and you have the practical skills, and the connections will come in, because we cannot take you somewhere where you don't know how to do things. Yeah, so thank you for your time, and the watchers also, thank you for viewing us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tom. Thank you so much. For now, this conversation still continues, and I guess those who are online, they'll share with you a QR code or a link you can click on for further discussion of this topic. It's an innovation we are trying to bring on board, and we still need people to work with. The two of us here, we are not alone, and it's not only us. We are just representatives of a big innovation. So any of you, a UCU student, a graduate, a lecturer, a staff, can still contribute. You are there, and there's something extra beyond what you studied. please, this is the environment for you to pass it on to someone else. Let's carry it forward. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
Guys for attending. I see Gonza Mark. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a good time. We saw your comments. Prolice Media Official, thank you for participating. Patty V5J, thank you for being part of this. Sarah the Lord's Angel. Wow, the name is so beautiful. Thank you for participating. Then the other one was David Bankins. It's beautiful. Thank you for being part of this. Now, for my online people, that has been a very good podcast. This service is called the ImagoDei Nexus. Like you earlier, they have just spoken most of the things. We are here to empower you in your innovations, in your research, prototyping, and all that. I hope you may have even learned more than me. But of course, if you have anything to know more, please just come in the library and ask. Please, you'll get your answers. But don't forget that we are here for the UIS week, and ImagoDei Nexus has been part of our own services that we've been giving. We're also doing here laptop cleaning. We're doing phone cleaning. We're also doing the Moodle issues. If you have any issues and you're at home and you want your Moodle to be fixed up, please make sure you come at campus here at the tent. We shall be closing tomorrow. We're also doing our alpha. If you are not on alpha, and possibly you have to, not you don't, or maybe you don't need to be but you must be part of the alpha. Please come at campus tomorrow and be part of this. Otherwise, our theme has been tech in action, empowering you in a digital campus. Otherwise, for the online people, allow me wish you a very lovely evening, and we meet next time. But tomorrow we shall be here. Please make sure that tomorrow come and be part of our games. We have games tomorrow at 3 p.m. in the new pitch. Don't be at home that side. Otherwise, my name is Modesta here to host you. Have a lovely night. Wow.